week, we need a day, 24-hour getaway. Let's take it slow, fill up our tank, try to forget yesterday. The weather's hot, the beer's ice cold.
Good afternoon, everybody, good afternoon. Good evening, good morning, whatever it may be, whenever you're catching this. Stand by. It's the Bearded Frog here. Yes, it is. And we are out today to take the Gorilla 50 that I carried on the Arizona Trail, right over here, and the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, we're gonna take the thing out on its last walk. Yeah, I'm gonna unpack that thing today, and I'm gonna show you what I ended the trail with, and some of the items that I sent home. All right, let's go take a walk. One of the first things I noticed when I put this pack on, it's been almost 2 months, is I had to put a couple inches back in the belt, y'all. Yeah, probably about 2 inches or so. As you know, this belt, it was a medium belt, gossamer belt, and well, I ran out of room in it. Had no room left in it. Had some space at the end of my hike there. Probably when I got to the Whites. Working pretty hard from there north. And well, safe to say that I've gained a little bit of weight back, probably 1.5 inches or 2 inches on the waist. Probably not fully 2 inches, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm back up about 12 pounds. I'm sitting right about 183 right now. I think 171 was the lowest I got on trail. And I feel better. I gotta be honest, I didn't hike at all. I came home, I took this pack off, and I didn't open it. So I don't know what I'm gonna see in this thing today, other than a few winter gear items that I had sent home. I thrown in the top. I'm hoping there's not some old food in here, to be honest with you. That'll be gross. Oh yeah, it's been a bit since I put my pack on. I got something rattling around in there. I don't even feel like my old self when I see myself in the mirror or on a camera lens. Whew. Who is that young fella? Whew. Yeah, I'm silk blazing. Spider webs out here. Whew. Good grief. For y'all flip-floppers that are going down in that Georgia heat down south and you hiked all through August, God bless y'all, because it's a little hot and humid up here in south central Pennsylvania. Been a little warm the last couple days. Today's in the 80s, but the last few days it's been touching 100 as far down as Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where I was the last week or so. And yeah, it's a little cooler in the shade. That's kind of nice. Man, oh man, it's hot and muggy, y'all. Hot and muggy. Non-standard backpacking gear, by the way. I did get rid of my water bottles, my 1 liter water bottles. I either use Life Water or Smart Water bottles. Those fit the threads on the Sawyer Squeeze. So it's been a bit of time since I talked with everybody out here and on the World Wide Web, YouTube land. And as you know, I did the trail with this Gorilla 50 liter backpack. It's actually a 40 liter pack, to be honest with you. They say that the extra 10 liters in the Gorilla 50 are the outside pockets. So we're going to unpack that. Sleep and go. This is a mattress. It fails. It's something I started backpacking with, and I thought when I got the light weather warmer weather, I would go back to this. They say it's 1.5 inches. But once you slept on a good pad, don't waste your time with this. It's an inflatable, entry level. If you want to try it out, go ahead. It doesn't weigh much. I'll put the weights right here. Entry level. Again, don't spend your time and money on this one. Alright, I didn't end with this. It's something I sent home. I sent this home probably sometime in Massachusetts. I would say Dalton. Right before Mount Greylock. Right before I got to Mount Greylock, I sent all my winter gear home. I had nothing left for winter gear. The only warm weather gear I had was my rain pants and my rain jacket. And yeah, that was it. So the old Melly, love this thing. It was great. To be honest with you, I used it more in camp than I did actually hiking. I'm hoping some of these acorns don't drop down on top of me here, y'all. Alright. This microphone, actually let's plug it in and see if it works. I didn't take it. I thought I would use it. But to be honest, once I started looking through things, it just became something extra from a backpacking standpoint. Now we're going to test it out. And it had such a long cord on it. The audio quality wasn't always the best for me. But definitely if you have a remote mic and you don't mind carrying the extra weight and the extra, if you have the pack to charge it up, it's worth it. Let's see if the audio gets better. Hopefully there's some audio here. Alrighty. This is in the clothing category. My gaiters. Dirty Girl gaiters. Love these things. In my opinion, gaiters are a must-have. I had a lot of problems with debris. I'll show you this in a little bit. Getting down in my socks and shoes. Inevitably, it would end up on the bottom, and you'd have to keep dumping your shoes out. Or you face the possibility of blisters. My rain pants, I carried the entire trip. I used them quite a bit, especially at the end, just for regular pants. It's what I used every night in camp. Didn't wear them much when it rained, to be honest with you, because they were just hot and cumbersome. They'd stick to your legs if you didn't have something underneath, like a pair of leggings or something like that. So difficult to walk in the heat. But yeah, they were just like regular pants for me, to be honest with you. And they were warm and insulating. These are just REI brand rain pants. Nothing super interesting about them. The only reason I liked them was they come in a short length. These are medium shorts. They were fine. No tears, no rips. They actually have a pocket in them. There's a shout out for REI there. I don't know the weight, but you can check them out. As I said, I'm going to post a link to my lighter pack. I'm going to update it as well. Outdoor Research. This is the helium. Let's see. I love this color blue. Blue's like my favorite color, by the way. Outdoor Research helium. Not the helium 2, just the helium. And in this little pocket up here, I was keeping my net. My head net for bugs. Didn't use it a whole lot, by the way. But this jacket and those rain pants, they were my primary method for evading the mosquitoes in camp. Yeah, luckily it cooled down in the evenings. But to have everything on to avoid mosquitoes was a little bit torturous, but better than there's my toothpaste I was looking for. We'll put that in my ditty bag in a little bit. Alright, let's dig in this pack. In the category of things that I sent home, I have this waterproof stuff sack, Sea to Summit. I loved it, by the way. It's actually quite good. I'll put the weight of it in here. I think this is a 10 liter bag, and this is the contents of every day in Damascus, Virginia. Oh. My heavy wool mittens. Actually, these are fingers, but they were wool. I forget who makes these. Heat holders. I recognize that little symbol. Y'all can see that. Very warm gloves, by the way, and I had fingers in them, so I got some dexterity with them. I had to tie and untie and hang a bear bag and stuff like that. My Sea to Summit sleeping bag liner. This is the Extreme, I believe. Yeah, the Extreme. Man, this, I don't care what kind of a bag you have, what you're using for your sleeping gear, but if you're going out in the month of February and March, this is a must-have. It's not that heavy, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's safety gear. Got to have it. A second pair of drawers. Doing it all again, you got to have one set. Those are Reeboks. What I'm wearing on is Reeboks. I ended up hiking in shorts the rest of the trip. I used 2 sets of shorts. I ended up getting a pair of shorts in Port Clinton at the outdoor shop there. It's not an Outdoor World. When I think of it, I'll put it right here. It was a cool stop because it was the only outdoor gear shop, I think, in all of Pennsylvania, to be honest with you. I had these pants. These are just Denali generic lightweight pants for backpacking, hiking. I wore those all the way up until Virginia. Again, sent them back, and of course a belt with them. I don't regret in the shorts, but if you're going to hike in shorts, I recommend having a pair of undergarments, some kind of boxer drawer, not a boxer drawer, but what do you call these? Like a compression short style, just to avoid the chafe, because I did run into a lot of issues with chafe. Not a lot, but a few when it was like really hot and sweaty in the afternoons, when they get up in the 80s and 90s. Northern Virginia through the Shenandoahs, Pennsylvania quite a bit. Eventually switching to those other pair of shorts that had the built-in liners. They were more like a tight woven instead of that loose net type thing. So those definitely helped out. Eventually the butt tore out in them. I don't have them with me to show you, but yeah. This is something, to be honest, I never wore. Never wore this. This was an Under Armour winter version compression shirt. I thought I would wear this like to sleep in every night. To be honest with you, it was just a hassle, and once I got that Sea to Summit liner, never used it. We'll go into clothing and all that more specific later on. I just wanted to give a rundown on this bag content, when I sent stuff home and what I ended with. Alright, this bag, it's a bag actually for my sleeping bag, but I ended up using it for my tent. My tent, trekking pole tent. This is the Lanshan 2. A couple different companies make it now. Fairly light, a couple pounds. For what it is and the cost of it, it'll make you a whole entire Thruhike, by the way. No doubt. Makes the Thruhike. It stayed together, and I didn't have a leak at all. Not once. I did have the footprint for it. Sometimes I use the footprint just to lay down on if I needed something to sit on the ground sometimes. I did use it. But not one leak with this thing. Now you do got to pitch it very well. I am going to tell you that. If you're going to try to set this up in the rain, you're going to have problems. Alright, let's keep moving on here. a Virginia thing. Sent this home. Again, Damascus. I had seal socks. Seal skin socks. I thought I might be trekking in snow, walking in heavy snow, and it would insulate the feet. It's supposed to keep them dry, but I know at a certain point it doesn't. They don't work. But more important to keep them insulated, since I was hiking in trail runners and not boots. The old black diamond headlight. I bought this in the NOC. It is not rechargeable. It takes a couple AAA batteries. And this is the Astro model, Black Diamond Astro. Does not have red. And honestly, I offended a bunch of people in the shelters not having a red lamp. And I didn't go out on trail with one, to be honest. In retrospect, have a red light. It doesn't block all the light from other people sleeping in the shelter, but it's a hell of a lot more respectful when you get up at 4 a.m. and put your light into a red beam instead of the white beam. My electronics bag, we'll dive into that separately. My Thermarest. Whew. This is my Neo Air. This is my winter setup. It's got a heavy R value. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's over R6, maybe R6.7, R6.9, R5.9, something like that. Again, I'll put it here. I sent this home in Massachusetts. This probably could have made the whole trip, but I wanted to save like 5 or 6 ounces. But that story in itself is pretty damn ridiculous. Those that hiked with me know about it. And if you saw my other YouTube videos about what I did in order to save some weight and the trade-offs that ultimately I made just to carry larger bags of peanut M&Ms. But that thing held up. It was very warm. Yeah, I highly recommend it if you're going to be camping any months outside of September to March, to be honest with you. April even. If you're in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, you better have a high rated R value bag. Air mattress, I would say. Okay, this is my ditty bag. All my toiletries, some consumable stuff in there. Not going to go into it. Separate bag I'll cover in a smaller video, shorter video. Okay, something I never regretted carrying. People said, what are you doing with that Ursack still? This Ursack, to me, it's the bomb. Sure, the ATC, by the way, does not condone the use of the Ursack as the only way of avoiding bear issues. You still have to hang this thing. I'm just going to leave it at that. Although there are a lot of other bags and people that I saw on the trail that once you got north of the Shenandoah Park, they never hung a bag. They just stuck it in their tent with them. Shame on them. This, I could at least make the effort and go tie it off on a tree somewhere remote from the sleeping areas, and or I just hung it. You know, a lot of the shelters, especially down south, they have cable hangs. Connecticut, I think, had cable hangs. Maybe parts of Massachusetts. When you get up in the White Mountains, New Hampshire, yeah. 2 parts of this Ursack, by the way, y'all. You have to have a liner inside this thing. You need to have a liner. That does not prevent scent. Now, the problem with the liner bag, we can go into that separately as well. The Ziploc up here breaks. There's some tips and tricks I can share later on. My Sawyer water filter, 1 filter the whole trip. Had no problems with it freezing. There's tips and tricks for this too. I'll go into in another video. Sorry for the mess down there, y'all. You probably can't see it, but it's over. Oh, sorry for the language. Oh, in case you're wondering what this noise rustling around here, these are trash bags. Compactor bags, actually. One of them. This bag is not waterproof. It's not even remotely waterproof. Everything in it gets wet, even with a pack cover, because pack covers don't cover the whole thing. I did have one for a bit of time, but it was useless. It was doing nothing, so I got rid of the 2 or 4 ounces, whatever it was, and I had spent a lot of money on it too, like 40 bucks for, basically it was only good for light rain. This solution, the best. In fact, a double bag. Gossamer, this is the liner with Gossamer liners that they have on their website, and then I felt the need to double bag it because I did get a couple holes in it setting this thing down on roots and trees. A jet boil. Love this thing. Kept it on the outside pocket of my bag. It did cause a little bit of tears sometimes when you're going through the rocks. I've seen a lot of people with these titanium spoons and pots and stoves, you know, little pocket rockets and MSRs and all this stuff. This is just a nice kit. Keeps your spoon there, you don't lose it, you don't have to dig around fumbling for it. You can keep a lighter, a rag, you know, a little scrubby in there. Oh, this thing is disgusting. Oh, because it was on the outside of my pack, water gets in there. You can keep a lighter in there. Serves as a little extra cup if you want that. I'm going to continue to use JetBoil products moving forward. Definitely. Maybe not that one. I got my eye on another one. Another video. My bag. Love, love, love this bag. But right now, oh my God, it smells like cat piss. Woo! Holy moly, that's a stinky bag, and it is wet. So my shit leaked somehow. Move out of it. It was wet. You know. Oh, whoa! Whew, that was torturous. Ah, my seat is some pillow. Love this thing. It's extremely disgusting. I've never washed it. The only problem that I had with it is the little check valve in here fails. When you blow it up, it normally keeps air in it. That failed, but anyway, if you shut it up quick enough, it's good to go. I might have to make a purchase of a new one there. We'll see. See the Summit. It was great. This is the premium regular. I know some people get the larger one. I was pretty okay with that one. And I use a mummy bag, by the way. I didn't cover that real quick. This mummy bag is a REI. It's the REI Magna 15. This color is the 15. If you wanted to use it down to 15 degrees, make sure you got that bag liner and you got a sleeping pad that's rated for above R5. Just going to tell you that now, or you will freeze. But what I was going to say is this pillow fits right up in the curve of this mummy bag. It just locks right in there. It's perfect. It goes nowhere all night long. It stays in the bag with you. It's the best. No need to strap this thing or Velcro to attach it. I know that this has a pillow lock system. Not necessary. Not necessary if you're using a mummy style bag. Okay. This is the mattress that I ended with. This is a Nemo. This is a pretty good mattress. It's the square one. It is, I gotta think about the size of this rascal. It actually has the bag, the compression sack that you blow it up with. But this is not the wide one. Everyone out there had a wide mattress, by the way. Everyone on trail, on the Appalachian Trail that I met, they all had wide mattresses. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, some people need room. They like to turn. They like to set their stuff up next to them. But here's what I found. It takes up a lot of shelter space. When everybody sets those up and they set down their... Anyway, we're not going to go into that. It takes up a lot of space when everybody has the wide pad. If you have a small tent, a one-man tent, it takes a lot of your tent up, by the way. You don't have a spot to put necessarily your, your electronics, your toiletry bag, stuff like that. And my puffy, LL Bean. It's looking. Oh God, it smells like cat pee too. Not quite as bad as that sleeping bag, but anyway, this thing's perfect. I think it's an 850 fill. This model. It's not lofted, obviously. You've got to loft this thing up. I mean, it really compresses down to nothing, and it's slightly damp, so something leaks in here. But carried this the whole time. Again, this was partly emergency gear, and when I wasn't using them, I had gloves. I had these little gloves. These are just something I think I bought at a Sam's Club somewhere. They're nylon or polypropylene or polyethylene or something like that. They're synthetic. We'll go with that. And they're a size large. I always kept them in there. This is something I always considered emergency equipment, and I always had that as a minimal. Even though I sent my big heavy wool gloves home. And the other thing I always kept as a minimum was a hat. I don't have my original hat with me. It's not here for some reason, but it's an awesome hat. Shout out to Mountain Blaze Arts. In fact, I'm going to get it out and show you all. If you don't know who they are, check them out. Go. They have a what do you call that? They have an Etsy shop, handmade. I mean, these hats, top notch. Interiors are soft. They have it's not felt. I forget what they're lined with, but man, do they feel good on your ears. Oh my gosh, fantastic. But later on, I ended up picking up this little tiny lightweight beanie. Again, emergency gear, just to keep the heat in. A lot of times I found that if you just kept the heat in, like your upper body, that's all you needed. That's all you needed. Again, these things I just kept in the pockets, and they were good to go. The other thing I found out is being consistent on where you store things when you're out here packing. You're not going to lose stuff. As a guy who lost a lot of crap out on the trail, you don't want to do that. I did lose a lot of crap. What else is this? What do I got here? Oh, I got an extra pair of socks. I felt the need to keep them dry. Oh, that's why everything's wet. Socks are wet. These, they ain't good. Don't do that. Unless you're a professional stuntman. What do we got? Herb and garlic tuna. Yeah, man, king of the lunch right here. Throw that in some ramen. Good stuff. I didn't do a lot of ramen for lunches, by the way. What else do we have in this pack? Alright. Check it out, y'all. I still got my airplane luggage tag on here. Alright, this pocket up here, I did have this pocket. In it, I usually kept my cell phone in the front, and if it rained, I put the cell phone inside. And a little cloth up here for wiping the lens, cleaning the lens. And every once in a while, I put that thing in that little rascal I put in a Ziploc. In the top of this bag is a small compartment. These are the things I was paranoid of losing all the time. Something else I sent home, I had a 3-liter CNOC bag, the coupling adapter, and I always carried this syringe. I can't tell you the number of people that borrowed this syringe out on trail. A lot of people did. They're like, oh, my filter's getting slow. Oh, can I borrow that when we get to camp? You know, hey, you still carrying that? This syringe, priceless. I got good flow on my Sawyer the whole time. And I didn't flush every day with it. I flushed like maybe every 5 or 6 days. Sometimes I forget about it for a long time. When I got into town, just took care of it. But you're going to need that coupling hooked to your bottle and then to the CNOC. They sell it on a lot of websites sell it, but I know Gossamer Gear sells it on their website. I think it's a couple bucks. But the most thing I was paranoid about losing was these daggone steaks. Now, these kind of look like those groundhog steaks. I think they're MSR groundhogs, but these are the ones that came with it. And I never lost a single steak. Not one. However, a long time ago in Arizona, I learned a different trick. For my ridgeline, I was using a different type of stake. One that got a little bit deeper. And this one's a little bent there. Had a big rock. And I could tighten my ridgeline up. That's one big thing about having that tent that I have. Actually, probably all trekking pole tents. That ridgeline needs to be, it needs to be taut now. It needs to be taut. And so I felt that these little shepherd hook style stakes, I think they just did a better job. And that was it. So, and I would always end up packing my stuff up by putting them in there every time. Had to be consistent. Now, this bag has cool pockets on it. I love the pockets, but I tended to want to overload these rascals. I was pretty consistent about what I kept in them for the most part. Right now it's not going to be that way. I'm going to have my ID. I did keep a headlamp in there. This is my third headlamp, by the way. I kept a headlamp in there. But when we got up north, Vermont and more north, this one's a night core. I forget the model. NU something. NU25, ultralight model. Rechargeable. When I got up north, it rained all the time, and this isn't waterproof. The other headlamp I had, it failed because of one of these ports was open, charging port or something. It failed. It wouldn't work. First time I had ever seen that happen. And I have my little GoPro Hero 8 in here, which I did not take on the AT with me. But because of all the rain, the next time I will be taking a GoPro. Yep. I may not take the batteries and all the extra charging stuff with it, but I will be taking the GoPro on my next trip. Because the rain, it changes the way you do things. Sorry, this isn't all beautiful here. Alright, what else we got in this pocket? Haha, some sports hydration. Noon tablets. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. But up in Monson, this is probably one of the few things you're going to get up there. They don't have some of the other things, propels and whatnot. What was the other thing everybody else had? I forget the name of it. If I think of it, I'll put it right here. Answer getting me. Sunscreen. Man, oh man. I bought this in Virginia, but I was already sunburnt. Going through the Shenandoah the first couple days, the backs of my legs were bright, like lobster bright. Ooh, that was a good one. Whew. Whew. That was a good one. Anyway, I rarely use this after that. I carried a very big one. I probably should have got a very small tube. This was for fluid ounces, probably with the container. 6 ounces of weight I just carried, just in case, but I probably could have done without it. It was too late by the time I did it. That's it. That's it for that pocket. Let's see what I did on the other pocket. Oh, we already covered the other pocket. Perfect. Oh, in here, I have a little pocket knife as well. Just a little 1 inch, 2 inch pocket knife I used. Most of the time I used it for cutting cheese. Bologna, salami, that kind of thing. But there it is, folks. Periwinkle, by the way. The periwinkle tags for 2023. I just voted for 2024. I'm going to go with that orange color. Was it flame orange? Something like that. It's orange. It's a sort of an orange. Burnt orange. Can't remember the exact name. But my vote is in. Alright, I'd like to say thank you to everybody that made it through this whole video. Sometimes I know videos are hard to get through. Clip, 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 fast forward. But if you made it to this point, and you know, I thank you. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in to watch the whole journey with me on the Appalachian Trail, the Thruhike. I got some other videos out here for the Arizona Trail and the Bearded Frog, my trail name. If you don't know, I'm working on the 11 National Scenic Trails. So the Arizona Trail and the Appalachian Trail are two of those. One other trail that I probably will do next. Let me make sure I'm not getting attacked over here by squirrels or something. But probably the next trail that I've been taking a peek at is the NET, the New England Trail. It's just a couple 100 miles through Massachusetts and Connecticut. And yeah, so those are the next ones. But the big one I want to do next, hopes and dreams, it's going to be the Pacific Crest, PCT. Not so sure it's going to be 24. We'll see how this full-time position that I'm in the process of interviewing for goes. Might even get a relocation out of it. So we'll see how I do in warmer weather. All right, y'all, thanks again for joining the channel. Make sure you come back and check in. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that if you want to be notified of my next outing. It's not going to be a through hike, but you know, I'll be doing some weekend outings, maybe some week-long trips, and you'll get notified the minute I put some new material out. I will do some gear reviews. You know, I did a lot of economical equipment, some of them, so I will do reviews on that equipment as well. So, and gear that I'm thinking about getting for the next endeavor. Thanks again, y'all. Peace, 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 peace out.
Pack the Yeti, rally up your friends, find some water, jump on.